Yo, what's going on, Ethan? Just wanted to get you this video so you could practice for your makeup test this week. First and foremost, a quick note about studying. The best way to, at least for me, to study is to make sure you're in a calm environment. One thing that helped me when I was studying for math was making sure that I was, isolated from other people. I was in my room or something, and I had something to keep me focused, like some kind of music. So I usually use lo-fi hip hop to um, kind of calm down and be able to focus. But whatever music that would be for you, I'd recommend, and then you can just kind of stay in the zone and be in your own thing. But you want your studying to be in a pleasant environment, so keep that in mind. But without further ado, we'll get started. So for these first ones, these are solving proportions, which you're really good at, but I figured I'd just give you some extra practice and you get to see the video, to solidify anything. So let's start off with problem number 7. So the first thing you're going to do is, let's go ahead and multiply. We're cross multiplying, so we're going to do 6 times 7, which is 42. And then over here we have b minus 1 times 9, which is going to be 9 times b minus 1. I might need to make this a little bit thinner, actually. Let me rewrite that. So we have 42 equals 9 times b minus 1. We're going to distribute. So then we get 42 is equal to 9b minus 9, right? We want to get everything, after we distribute, we want to get all the numbers on one side and all the variables on the other side. So let's just go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and move the 9 over here by adding 9 to both sides. When I do that, the 9's here will cancel. I'm going to move the problem over here. 42 plus 9 is 51, so we're going to get 51 is equal to 9b. We're going to divide both sides by 9b. Did I do that right? Yeah, I did. Cool, yeah. Alright, we're going to divide both sides by 9b, or by 9. So, the 9's cancel. We're going to get b is equal to 51 over 9. Alright, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Let me double check because that doesn't look nice and whole, but the process is mostly right. But again, this is for you to check out. Just double check. So we have 9b times 1. This should be 9b minus 9 plus 9 on both sides. We get 51. Yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. So now let's try number 8. Alright, so same kind of thing. Let's do the not the variables. Let's do the numbers. We have 4 times 2, which is 8. And then, I gotta make this a little bit thinner. Alright, so we have 4 times 2, which is 8. And then we have m minus 8 times 8, which is going to be 8 times m minus 8. Alright, so we're going to distribute that m minus 8 to the 8. And what we're going to get is, we're going to get 8 is equal to 8m minus 64. We're going to add 64 to both sides to cancel it out. So I'm going to continue that over here. When we do, we're going to get on one side, we're going to get 72 is equal to 8m. And then finally, we're just going to divide both sides by 8. When we do that, the 8's should cancel here. And we're going to get m is equal to 72 divided by 8, which is 9. That's nice and whole. So, good. So what I want you to do is, I'll leave these 2 problems for you to try out on your own and get you some extra practice. Alright, so there we go. So when you're done with that portion, you can scroll on down and we're going to head to the simplifying exponential expression. So this was on the back page of your, let's say, simplifying simplifying exponents. So this is on the back side of your test, or on the second page of your test. Okay, so I think the key here is just recognizing what kind of exponents you have, if they're negative or positive and things of that nature. But let's start off with a very simple one. So let's look at number 25. So for 25, there's nothing we have to do with the numbers. 3 is all by itself. There's nothing being multiplied or divided, so we're going to leave the 3's alone. But let's focus on the m's. Alright, so we have an m minus 4 and we have an m minus 3. So we talked about this last time. I know naturally we want to just move the negative down and readjust, but I think we made it simpler by just saying if we can just, take care of it while it's up here. So if we do that, remember if you have a variable dividing another variable, then their exponents are going to subtract. So this is what that means. So we're going to have a 3, and then we're going to have an n minus 4, and then we're going to subtract that minus 3, or that 3. All right, so we have an n minus 4 minus 3. All right, so when you combine those, n minus 4 and 3, we're going to get 3m to the negative 7 when you combine those, right? So now there's nothing else to simplify. Now we can go ahead and move that whole thing down. Because that's a negative exponent, we know that it's in the wrong place. So it needs to go down. So when we simplify that, we're going to get 3 over m to the 7. All right. Hopefully that made sense. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. Okay. Now I want to try to do another one. Let's try 31, 32. Let's try 32. Let's try 32. All right. So I want to try 32 because this one we're actually distributing an exponent, and we're going to do that. So we're going to distribute the exponent to everything on the inside. So it's going to distribute to the x to the 5th, and then it's going to distribute to the x to the negative 4 that's right here. Okay. So let me show you what that looks like. So on the top, we still have x to the negative 2. But on the bottom, we're going to have x to the 5 times negative 2. And then we're going to have y to the negative 4 times negative 2. So remember, when you distribute an exponent like this, when there's an exponent chilling outside of the parentheses, it multiplies to the exponents on the inside. All right. So let me make sure I write that that's a minus 2. Good. So we're going to simplify these. So we have x to the 5 to the negative 2, and then negative 4 to the negative 2. So let's simplify that and see what we get. So on the top of the fraction, we still have x to the negative 2. But on the bottom, now we have x to the negative 10, and we have y to the positive 8. And negative 4 times the negative 2 is a positive 8. So you want to make sure you're watching your negatives and your signs. All right, so as we continue, we can see that there's nothing to compare y to. Y is going to be chilling by itself, but we do have something we can compare x to. So we want to make sure we work on that. So again, we don't want to worry about switching negatives right now, but let's know that we're going to take this exponent and we're going to subtract this exponent. So this is what we're going to have. So we're going to have x to the minus 2 minus a minus 10. So remember, you're subtracting whatever that is, so it's a minus 10. All right, and then we still have a y to the 8 on the bottom. That didn't change. So let's simplify this. All right, when we simplify that, the double negative basically makes a positive, so it's going to be negative 2 plus 10. So we're going to have x to the negative 2 plus 10, that's going to be an 8. That's going to turn into an 8. So we have x over 8 and then y over 8. All right, there's nothing else to simplify. That should be the answer there. All right, so this is what I want you to do. So take a really good look at this process. Again, just track your negatives, and like I said, save the moving things up and down until the end and just do the math. But you have a problem 26 and a problem 31 that you can try on your own, and I think that'll give you great practice. All right, so there will be another video on factoring that you're about to see. So yeah, check that out and let me know if you need any other help. But I'll see you in the next video.